Okay, so let's take the Rincos out of my ears. Currently, I think this is called the Fusion 1 from Effect Audio. So I'll put that cable down with the Rincos. It's slightly thick. But we're actually here to talk about this. The Hiby R6 Pro Mark II. Because DAP. Because $750 DAP. Because Hiby's, is this their top of the line? I feel like they have an R8. Do you have an R8? I think they have one higher than this. But this has issues that I'm going to complain about. I'm just going to warn you straight off the bat. There's issues. But straight before the bat, there's great things. I love the screen. It doesn't get as bright as I would like it. This is maximum brightness. And I keep checking, and I'm like, okay. So you can go, I feel like you have two people who want to use a DAP. Either people who want to go outside in real life, and they need the brightest screen possible to be out in the sun, or the people who like to crawl into bed with like a good set of headphones or IMs and lower it. And if you're that person, my God, because once you're like 3/4, that's like dim, then half is dark, then 25% is like, oh God, and then you ascend into the abyss. And basically, I can barely tell the thing's working now. If there wasn't that blue, if it was just... So, yeah, if you're one of those people who want the absolute dimmest screen you can get, this will handle that perfectly. It is Android-based. Which version of Android is it? Hold on. Let's dig about the device. Ooh, look at this beautiful screen they give you. So there's a name, which using a Snapdragon 665. We have two DACs, a 4191 EQ AK and a 4499 EX times 2. Currently capable of PCM 1536 DSD. The device name, the RAM is 4 gigs. ROM screen resolution is 1080 by 2160 with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. Firmware. Where's your Android version, you bastard? They're hiding their Android version. It doesn't feel like the newest Android, but that's okay on most DAPs. Maybe it's under system. Systems, updates. Oh God. Check. He's being so cute. Current version is the latest version. Nice. I'm doing my job. So get out of this. Look at the wallpaper. It's stock purple. What? I don't know what he wants. I actually like it. They've actually matched the theme of all the icons also to this, so I'm kind of leaving it alone. It would normally be covered in waifus or some sort of sushi desk mat. Link in the description. Hiby player. We need to talk about the Hiby player too when I get onto this, because we'll talk about the hardware. The hardware, the build, is half the greatest thing I've ever experienced, and half, how could you do this, Hiby? You've been making DAPs forever. How could you fuck this up? So which half do you want to hear first? The good half? Great. Everything on the bottom, everything's surrounded in gold trim, Type-C. You've got your balance line out, your phones out, and your balance phones out. So these are just for feeding like different amplifiers, and these are just for feeding specifically the headphones. I love that they're on the bottom. That's the way I like to go about it. Top has nothing, and then we get to the back. We'll look at the back real quick. Beautiful carbon fiber, and there's actually a cover over this, like a scratch cover that we could replace. The Hiby logo in silver, and then you have these fucking amazing textured grooves, just like I just want to touch this thing forever. It's also got this beautiful effect of like slightly corner cut there and slightly corner cut here, which makes the case it comes with rather interesting, because like, how am I going to squeeze this through the hole? Because I mean, it doesn't make sense. But then, oh wait, they actually engineered it with magnets in this. So this will actually flap open to get it past there, because it's square on the bottom and not on the top. And then it sits perfectly here, and it's a great case, and it's fine. Okay. It feels really quality. The screen looks good. We got to move on to the why the fuck are the buttons opposites? There's a rule. I didn't think this had to be written down. I figured it was an unspoken rule. But this unit has 6 buttons. On the right-hand side, we have power, volume up and volume down. And on the left-hand side, we have a rocker and a single button. Let's see if you can guess what those do. Because if it was me, I would have guessed the single button is pause and the rocker is next and last track. Why would that be the case? It's 3 buttons. Last track, play, pause, next track. And they're carved into the metal, so it's not like you could assign them. So you get the middle is play. I would have no problem if it was a big, like 3 individual buttons. The middle was play, pause. You had next track, last track, or next track, last track, and then the middle of play, pause. But when you make it a rocker, you're indicating that it's 2 parts, 2 different actions that should be related, like next track, last track, or volume up and down. So what? Your brother's probably upstairs. He's just Yeller. I'm going to call you Old Yeller. He's not as cute as Chewbacca, but my God, is he vocal. So anyway, that's an annoyance, but that's not a problem. We need to get to the problem. By the way, here's your SD card slot. The problem is that on the exact global opposite side is the other button. And I don't know if you've ever held something in your hand, but I tend to hold it like this. And if I want to press this button, I squeeze. Oh, shit. I've been trying for like weeks. I've had this for a couple weeks, and I've tried to pick it up. And every time I try to pick it up, and I'm like, I'm going to assess the sound. Let me unpause. And then the screen's off. Or I want to turn the screen off, and then I've paused. And then if I want to do the volume controls, and oh, I've accidentally hit pause, and then it's next track, and it's just... Please don't do this again, Hiby. Like, let me lock out half the buttons, or just don't put them... Like, if they were offset a little bit, so that, like, because it's very hard to do it. I'm like, okay, press the screen button. You have to physically remember to not have your fingers anywhere near the other side. But then the harder part is when you're on this side and you want to just do something, you're automatically going to be grabbing the other side. So I've hit both buttons, like I'm just trying to turn the screen off, and I accidentally last tracked. We'll get over it. You'll get over it. I'll get over it. It's fine. Fine with a big F. This is not a cheap unit. It's $750 as of right now. I got a link to Hiby's homepage, and a link to Linsel and Hi-Fi Go. They all have it, and it's definitely the newest revision of their player because it does some shit that's just like you can do that. So let's get out of the play screen, and we'll go to the picture. There's a login if you want to log in and hook up your title and everything. You have import music via Wi-Fi, your music scan, download manager for things. You could change your skin. I have the skin currently set to green. We can go to follow system, hit apply, and then it'll be that. I love the weight and the texture on the back. You have equalizer, which is like a pretty nice equalizer. We've got, well, how many band is this? We've got from 50, equalizer 31, 62, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A 10-band equalizer. That's pretty good. It's better than most. But wait, there's more. There's also a parametric equalizer. Like, I have it off currently, but you can do 10 different bands. Hold on. Let me see. We're going to switch this from low shelf to high shelf. Slide it up. Like, do you see the fluid nature of that? People who are still remember that, what was that little dongle that plugged into your phone that gave you all the parametric equalization? Or even like the little Bluetooth one, but you can't remember the name of the 5? Shit. But you get 10 different bands of anything you want, and you could adjust the Q values, and you can adjust the, like, what am I doing? Like, what headphone am I correcting with that? And it just, and you could enable or disable any of the 0 through 9 bands, then save and import or even share. Like, I'm not against this being here. I'm just saying, damn, your shit's fucked up if you're using this. So shut off parametric equalizer because before it makes everything sound crazy. Because you have a, what's the gain swing? -9 to +9 decibels. And up to 10 of them, like, okay. And then we get on to the MSEB, which I had a problem with the sound of this unit. And it's it's one of the top of the line. So it's just like, it should just sound great. I've used their smaller stuff and I love it. Why was I disengaged from the music is the way I'm going to describe it with this unit. And I think, I plug in the Zeus Elite, and make sure you do it to the right, to the correct side. You don't want the line outs or else there'll be no volume control. You want the phones out. That's another issue, but you'll get used to it. Just put them into the right side. Don't put them into the wrong side. Put them into the right side. Get it? That's how I remember. I kept plugging things into this. I'm like, oh, I'll just use this. And I just kept not being engaged with the music. And I'm like, why? And then I realized it's probably because this is one of the cleaner DAPs I've ever used. Some of them, including the Hiby, like the brick, the RS2, was a little bit warmer, softer, and it had all these settings that you could adjust how warm and soft. This is clinically clean, to the point where you actually are encouraged to use that MSEB, which I guess I should go back over what that actually is, to adjust these settings, because you're inspired to do so. Just even just the top one, where if you don't know, I'm going to get this out of excessive mode and go to fine tuning, because there's excessive, middling, and fine tuning adjustments for these things. So you have overall temperature, bass extension, bass texture, note thickness, voice, female overtones, and sibilance. And all of these things, I feel like a lot of people just ignore this when they go to a Hiby player. I know I have. I'll be like, oh, that's kind of cool that's there, but I don't want that. I want the purest form of the music. Well, guess fucking what? The purest form of the music through a player that aims to be the most neutral sounding player is kind of boring. That's why, I mean, my desk is a splooged with Class A and tube stuff, because I'm going to be doing the A-post Ray tubes, and these fit in all these. So, because there's got to be something there. I want you to mess with my sound a little bit. This can go from stock, which is the cleanest thing on earth, like just clean. Just plug it in, and I have no doubt it's like the Dan Clark. What's the big blue ones that I was just like, I took a nap with them. I can't remember names of headphones anymore. I'm headphone overload. The Manta Ray, the Stingrays, the Sharks. You know what I'm talking about. Those were the cleanest, neutralist headphones ever. I want to sleep. I had to plug them into dirty-ass tube amps and things with broken balance controls to try to get some life out of it. And I feel like this is kind of in that same ballpark. But it comes with the fix, which is just turn this on, and you want to add a little bit of warmth to that. 5, just, 5 of that. Maybe you want a little bit more bass texture. You want to go faster, thumpy, a little more thumpy. You like thumpy? And maybe your female overtones go from detoxed to crazy intoxicating. And then you're supposed to listen to the thing and enjoy it. So this unit has 2 modes, just 2. Absolutely everything is fucking, I wouldn't say vanilla, because that's the flavor. This is just frozen cream. Or get some balls, play with some knobs and some settings, and tune it to your liking. They're basically forcing you to tune it to your liking. Because if you get this for $750 and you don't realize you don't like the sound, that's not because you don't like the sound of this unit. It's because you haven't opened up MSEB or that parametric equalizer or even the standard equalizer for whatever reason you'd have both, and just tweak it a little bit until you're happy. Tweak it till you're happy, or turn all this off and be like, you know what? It's very clean and neutral. That's the only way I can rationalize this. Because Hiby doesn't mess around. I've known Hiby forever. I use Hiby forever. Oh, there's also impulse response and air. Let's make the air more crispy. I want 15 crispy. Keep in mind, I am also on fine tuning. So the changes are not like bold. You put it on fucking excessive and you move that slider and everything sounds like it's turning into horse shit. Here, I'm just tweaking it just a little bit. We can go back. We could just skip through my tracks. I'm not transferring files. I want to close this. All right, I'm going to put the volume up. Now, if I do it like I'm supposed to, I'm going to grab both buttons. And I put the volume up one notch and also pause the music. So let's do it again and unpause the music. I'm going to put it into higher gain, which is currently hidden behind the volume control. The pull down here, you get internet, gain settings, amplifier class, because this is a Class A player or a Class AB player. I've been running it strictly Class A because none of the thing I've been pushing on it has been like hard to drive. Like it was really hard to drive. You get a little bit more power, you go Class AB. Fuck it. I got a Class A portable. I'm using Class A. Bluetooth, audio settings, and then your gain settings. Now the gain settings I have a slight issue with here in that you have to cycle through them. Like if I hit this and it'll pull down and let me pick low, medium, high, that's fine. I hit it and it goes from low to middle and it goes middle to high and then high to low. Now the volume is quiet, but I had some IMs in and I was like on medium gain and I wanted low, which meant I have to experience high for a split second before I can get to low. We'll put it on middle. Audio settings. I should pause this. Audio settings are your low pass, anti-aliasing filters, you know, the standard selection of things. You get to click your amplifier, which is already a thing in there. Your gain, which is already in there. Your plugins, which you can download. It'll actually search plugins. You can download plugins. Your MSEB, which brings you back to this menu with an operate guidebook, which basically tells you to touch it, which I'm like, cool, cool, cool. Actually, MSEB is off because this MSEB is for the whole unit. Honestly, I would use this one and not the one in the player, because if you do use this as an Android device, if you load YouTube on it, if you're playing videos, if you got another player you want to use, you can still access all the MSEB adjustments, which again, I think you need for pleasure listening on this unit. It's like buying a boat. You either buy a tugboat that's for doing tug jobs. Don't take that out of context or search that. But you buy a tugboat, it's a worker's boat, it's done. Or you buy a yacht, which has, you know, hot fucking 9 people that work on it. It doesn't matter if they're male or female. You know they're hot because they're working on your yacht. And you've got like soft cushions and you've got a jet ski on the back. That's MSEB. Pick which boat you want. This can be either boat. You could either fuck with the MSEB and have the hot tub in the moonlight off the coast of Spain, or you could have the tugboat that specifically is there to do a purpose of moving boat from A to B, which is when you shut everything off. I should have set the screen to not sleep as hard. Unlock is either up or sideways also, which is getting kind of annoying. But yeah, you have your MSEB, which is in here. Then you have your DSD gain compensation, your channel balance. Why does that keep moving? I literally keep centering it. It was L1 before. Now it's R1. I guess when I think if you just try to scroll the screen, if you grab it by mistake, it'll do something. But now channel balance is balanced. You can set your max volume in case you do have super sensitive IMs or headphones. You don't want to blow it up. You set that. And then your MQA decoder, which I can't delete that, unfortunately, so we have to leave it there. But yeah. Lana Del Rey. See, now I've got those MSEB settings set, and now I feel like I could listen to Elites all day. Let's plug in. Oh, God, seriously? I pulled these out because I was going to test with them, and I'm just like, fucking Unique Melody Mast have a 2.5. Why? Let's say you know something's old. I guess we're going to have to go to a different effect cable currently running my Soft Ears Twilights. Plug that into the right side. Get it? Because it's the correct side. The right side. So now these were the IMs I took to test things at a UK Can Jam, because they're just a single dynamic and they're $900. And if you plug them into an amplifier that sucks, they suck. And if you plug them into an amplifier that's amazing, you spooge. So you plug them into these. It paused when I unplugged that, by the way. Oh, yeah. I could tell that MSEB is on and doing just fucking things. All right, so now I can... So, overall score on this unit, I'm going to give it an 8. If it was a 9... It would be a 9 if I didn't have to fuck with settings. If I hate the goddamn button thing, I'm going to have to just chop off a finger. If I remove these fingers, I can't accidentally hit it when I hit the thumb, or cut my thumb off, and then I could just do outside at a time, and then it's fine. But other than that, it is a quality built unit that has all the power, I think. Let's put it back to class AB. Actually, that's, I just noted, wait, does it say? Oh, it does, little class A in the corner. I just put it up. Let me lower that, and then pause, which is the top of a rocker. Yeah, no, it's a quality player. It just has those few quirks, and it has needs. It's needy. It needs you to fuck with it. Open up MSEB and tweak things. Make it sound like you like to listen to things. I had someone who was complaining they didn't like how the tungsten sounded. And it's like, well, what amplifier were we listening to them on? And what music source? And sometimes you gotta reach beyond the music. There's a space. The music exists and your ears exist. And everything between that is this fucking channel. The headphones, the amps, the DACs, the fucking $1,000 cables. It's all that shit. We're going to get to this. I'm going to do an actual cable video about different qualities and expenses of cables and see if I can tell the difference. That'll be a fucking hoot. But all that shit that's in the middle, if you're not me, as Zeos who's here to assess sound, you have so much more freedom to literally sit down in your chair and be like, you know what? I like this equalization curve. I'm going to just draw it, and that's it. I'm done. I can't do that. I unfortunately have to listen to things almost raw dog and just be like, I can't fuck with it. And only now am I starting to actually experiment with different tubes and different things. I find the pleasure. Damn it. This is sort of forcing you to find the pleasure on your own. It's like, we're going to give you the cleanest, most neutral sounding, like Shure IM's The Player. And then you have to go and you have to literally open up MSEB and do things to it to make it like, to experience what it is. Even with Class A, it didn't like warm it up to the point where I was just satisfied. I still have to mess with it. But yeah, no. Thank you to Hiby for sending this out. Again, just take my advice and do not ever, ever, ever put buttons on exact opposite ends of itself. Never do that. Never. I'm fine if you just have one set of rockers that you up and down for volume and double press for next track and double press for last track. And then, you could make them, I guess you still need another button here for pause, or just make this 3 buttons. This was like nice. It's like, oh, 6 buttons. I've never had a player with 6 buttons, but they're useless. It does still look very pretty. Anyway, I'm done. I'm going to go back to listening to, can I click that? Boulevard of Broken Dreams, featuring Maya Sykes, Postmodern Jukebox. God damn. Oh, the box comes with just a USB cable. So you have a USB cable and the case and the player, the end. So that's kind of nice. Not too much excessive shit. Anything else I need to read about? If the battery appears to be swelling, stop using it immediately. Yeah, I don't think you'd even see that if it started. Anyway, I'm done. You're done. Wallpapers in the Horde. Links to this. Patreon, Subscribe Star. Just keep me fed and keep the house power on. Did I spiderweb? I thought I saw a spiderweb. I don't like spiderwebs. Yeah, you get some benefits if you join the Patreon and Subscribe Star. You get to see these reviews early. Participate in yard sales, which happen from the 1st to the 10th of every month, and I ship internationally for half shipping. And America and Canada, if you live here and you buy something in the yard sale, you win free shipping. You get to the lossless sound demos, which I actually have to do a couple sound demos later today. I got to do those big fluid monitors. I've done you, right? Pretty sure I did you. So yeah, those are the $5 benefits. $10 behind the scenes private Telegram chat where you can talk to me directly, ask me questions directly. Apparently, make half the friends you meet at these shows are all in there. And then also get into the Lifetime Swap Me channel. So if you buy something on my recommendation, or you've bought something in the past and my recommendation has replaced it, Bye. It goes up the steps. You can sell it there to anyone, and you live in that chat forever. Like, it is a lifetime swap meet channel. You just post your post, leave it there. If it doesn't get sold, you can delete it later. If it doesn't get sold, delete it later, or you can modify it for a couple of weeks before it locks, and then you have to just delete and recreate it. But yeah, no, it's a great place to, it's a secure place to buy, sell, and trade gear because everyone kind of knows everybody in there. Anyway, I'm done. You're done. Mousepad's done. This is done. I will put it back into the case using the awesome, like, it's engineering that I like. Oh, okay, that's how you're doing it. Magnets are going to prevent this from ripping, and then as soon as you slide it down, it goes whoop. And the buttons are still a problem. See you in the next one.